I kept thinking someone was playing with me emotionally until I finally understood what was really going on between me and the person I trusted most. This is going to sound a little crazy, but I need some advice anyway. Just want to start by saying that I've never had any problems with paranoia, delusions, or psychosis, and I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that. I'm also 35 years old now, so it's unlikely that those type of mental issues would arise at such a late age. That being said, I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm pretty sure someone moves small things in my apartment when I'm not home. I live alone and no one, as far as I know, has a key to my apartment. I have two keys and both are in my possession. I have checked several times. I have tried putting glasses and plates on the table as a test before I go to work, and have taken pictures of them to compare with the pictures when I get home. So far, I have not been successful in proving anything. The most obvious things that I have noticed that have moved are a plate I had breakfast on that day moved maybe 30 centimeters from where I put it, candles have moved from the center of the coffee table to the edge of the table, and a shampoo bottle has moved from one shelf to another that I never used to store shampoo on. There are several other things I have noticed, but they are very small things that maybe not could be me now that I am so aware of where everything is. My ex-boyfriend had the key to my apartment for many years before we broke up 2 years ago. We didn't fall out, and he has a new girlfriend now, so I'm 99% sure it's not him. He also works in Copenhagen now several days a week, while I live in Jutland. I have asked him on days when things have moved, where he was, and he has been in Copenhagen all those days. He shared his location on Messenger, so that was enough. What would you do? I have no evidence of anything, and in principle I could have been sleepwalking or something and just not noticed the changes until I got back home from work. I occasionally sleepwalked as a child, but as far as I know it hasn't happened in maybe 25 years. It's starting to get pretty creepy. Update 1. Hi again everyone, smiley face. A lot has happened since I wrote the post. I've figured out what's up with this situation. I bought 2 cameras and set one up in the living room/kitchen and one in the entrance hall. It turns out my apartment actually has 3 keys and not 2, as I thought. My neighbor, also 35 years old, apparently looked after the previous tenant's cat occasionally and had a key to their apartment. She didn't return it after they moved out of what is now my apartment. We were pretty good friends to start with when I moved in, but she became more and more clingy, to the extent that she would call up to 15 times a day and talk for over 4 hours in total per day. I couldn't even leave the apartment without her wanting to know where I was going, and she would get angry if I didn't respond immediately to her messages, if I was asleep or busy. There was so much drama surrounding her that I couldn't take it anymore and chose to completely cut off contact. She has respected that for the most part, I thought. It turns out that she has let herself into my apartment and gone through my cupboards and drawers, and apparently deliberately moved my things around to make me paranoid. She can hear when I go in and out of my apartment because her entrance is only 5 meters from mine. That's why she always knew when I wasn't home, even though I work shifting hours. I confronted her and said that I would call the police. She panicked and contacted her father, who came over to me. He is a doctor and said that she has borderline personality disorder and refuses treatment because she doesn't think she's wrong. He said she is impulsive, outwardly reacting, and often feels a strong urge to revenge herself on people who she feels have treated her unfairly or let her down. This has apparently been a theme throughout her life with almost all her relationships, romantic and friendships. He practically begged me not to call the police and said that he would do everything he can to prevent anything similar from happening again. I got him to pay for a locksmith to change the lock, and I said that I would report her to the housing association, who would then report her to the police if she didn't voluntarily move out of the apartment as soon as possible, because I don't want her as a neighbor anymore. They both accepted that, and she has now chosen to move back to her parents at the end of February. So the ending was relatively good for me, albeit very chaotic.